Hi everyone, up for auction is a MacBook Pro model A1260. I would say that this is a good to very good computer. I think that there's a lot more wear than there is in a very good model, so I would just label it as good. You'll see here, I'm going to go over some examples here. That's some major scuffing where the metal is discolored, and then up here around the corners you can see some more scuffing. So most of the corners here have that discoloration. So this, I would say that this MacBook has had some use. Sorry, there's a little bit of a shadow. Okay, and then we're going to go through the corners, and you can see that this MacBook has had more wear than our previous auctions. All of the ports look very good. We've tested them. They're in good working condition. And you can see here that there are some deep scratches, not heavily enough to dent the model, but just enough that you can see as if like a key had been scratched across the surface. You can also see the back side of it here. Looks okay. Here the corner has been hit against something, so it pops out a little bit here. But the ports are unaffected. Like this is the power USB speakers, microphone. Ports are all in good condition, but unfortunately it did create a heavy dent. You can see here that there's a bit of an inward dent, and out here an outward dent. As a result, there's been some wear on the latch. You can see closely that it still latches, but there's just a little bit of a gap. So it closes just fine, but unfortunately it's got more of space than other MacBooks. Okay, now we're going to open it up, and before I turn on the model, I just want to take a good look at the screen here. This screen is in good to very good condition. I wouldn't say excellent because you can see that there's a little bit of scuffing. But it's very fine. It's not, I wouldn't even call it scuffing. I just don't know what else to describe it as. It's just very fine, and you can see a little bit that it's not a perfect screen. But I would still say that it's a very good screen. As far as I can tell, I've cleaned this pretty well, and I don't see any gouges or dents or little pinpricks in the screen. This is a matte screen. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it on, and I'll go over the keyboard with you while we wait for it to load. So the keyboard is also in very good condition. Some people had questions whether we were missing any keys, but the keys actually do work. I spent a couple of hours working on this MacBook. All the keys, as far as I can tell, are in good working condition. The trackpad is also very good. Okay. The only thing that I could really see on the keyboard is along the sides here, there's been some discoloration. I think right here, there's a little bit of discoloration, some dark black lines and some light lines around it. It's not a dent, it's not a bump. It's just some discoloration. Okay, while this loads up, we're going to go right here into about this Mac. This is Mac OS X version 10.6. It's got a 2.4 gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo. It's got 4 gigs of memory. Let me go into more information. So like I said, this is a MacBook Pro, 2.4 gigahertz, 4 gigs of RAM, and it's got, oh, sorry, wrong screen. And it's got about 200 gigs of RAM, or space, I'm sorry. If there's anything else that we can do for you, please go ahead and let me know. That should answer most of all your questions. It is good and working. I've spent some hours on it, and you can browse the internet and do all of your typical computer stuff. If you would like us to load some Photoshop programs onto the computer, we can put on some trial versions that you can get from the Adobe website. But otherwise, please email us either through the eBay contact page or at shutteryourface@gmail.com. Thank you very much. Bye.